mutabani we family anakakiri kyako kebaba bannayuganda kebatulugunyamu bannayuganda kebatta bannayuganda kebakola ebikolobero byonna ebyenjawulo kati nno kali ku ntoli za Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine yayogera n'agamba bomubandekere nja kubazinisa entoli. Eno ebyokusalako obuyambi ebyokubalabisa mu nsi yonna ne bategerekeka ebyo ngenda kubikola. Era ensi yonna abazungu abadde babawagira abadde babawa ensimbi ngenda kubalabisa n'obagambako naye mmwe lwaki mutusibyeko effugabbi bajja kuswala bajja kumweyubulako. Kati nno Bobi Wine alina kyatuuseeko ekindi General Museveni atunula byonzibiridde olwakino ekituusewo era tusuubira n'akisimatuka kubanga teyakisuubira ono Kyagulanyi mulalamu. Tusooke tubirabe akatambi kaakano omanye nno Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine musajja wa njawulo.
Godfrey for his kind words, and I'm really grateful for those little moments. Being a leader is hard, and so it's those bits that where people really understand what you're saying that make it really, really worth it. So thank you, Godfrey. As far as the teacher Mimi's comment, unification behind one idea is very hard, and it's constantly moving because you're constantly getting more people, and sometimes what they're hearing is secondhand from somebody else. And so they're just getting the version that their neighbor told them. And so this is why it's so important to be clear. Sorry, my dog's mad at me. It's why it's supposed to be extremely simple. Because if you convolute it in any way, it's going to be interpreted a million different ways by a million different people in a million different viewpoints. And that's why it must be simple. It must be straight up, we will fix roads. That's simple. It's, yeah. We're not sure how yet. We'll figure that out when we talk to everybody. But as people come in and join, that clear and simple message being constantly told, constantly touted, which is why you should speak so much, because the more you say it from different places, different pulpits, different areas, the more people are getting it firsthand from you, which is the best case scenario. But even when you are speaking every day in 3 different places, you're still going to get people who don't fully understand what they're uniting under. They just trust their friends, which that's okay. But when people start to feel like maybe you weren't telling the truth because the thing they heard first is different than the thing they heard second, it's important for you to address those times and address them often, making sure that those people who are maybe hearing something a little bit different than what you're saying understand that that was the original sentiment and that the problem does not lie with your messaging. It lies with an inability to get the message out perfectly. And that way it's nobody's problem and everybody's happy. What do you think?
Yeah, and also on addition to Katie, your discussion and comment in continuing to answer Meme's question, also it matters who is the message going to. Number one. Number two, are these people we are sending the message, have they been validated? Have they been filtered? In our American system here, from a military perspective and intelligence here, we have what we call TS, clearance. Only things that are most important and significant have to be shared to those in need only. If I have a top secret clearance from Pentagon as a high military office in the United States Army, I can only share that information with my next in the command with having that top secret clearance. We've got the confidence phase and the rest of that, and of course coupled with our FBI background check. And so we can't say it all without a closed door meeting to those that we think may be implants that will share our secrets of the revolution to others. And so we have gotten to be smart and clever in, if there's something that want to deliver in a speech or to rally the base, yeah, we can say, but there are those that we keep to our chest for on the need only to know of the top dollar cream, the ones that are in need to know. And so we have to be cautiously aware of who is the information going to be delivered to, how is that person being validated to be in the know-how, or is he just a mere putting on a red beret, yeah, people power, but later in the night, he's passing on the secrets and information of the revolution to others. And so, and sometimes we've gotten the cat and mouse game with China and Russia and all those other countries into sneaking in wanting to get things going. But in a nutshell, Teacher Mimi, I think that helps us to stick to our message. Whom is it delivered to? How are we delivering it? What is our method? What is our trust level to the person that the message is being delivered to? Thank you very much. Over to you, Dorcas.
Thank you so much, Professor. Yes, Comrade Joseph, if you come in to take the rest, whilst we hear from Tumisime, thank you. Yes, Tumisime, Sister Tumisime.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dorcas, and thank you, Teacher Katie and Professor David. My question is about the opportunities we have in our struggle. Because Shaketi taught us that we have to show handshake, to smile, do all that so that people can get to go with us. So about those who come with us with their interior motives, are we allowed to eliminate them, or we should keep on smiling and handshaking them? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, so what I understood from that question is, should we continue our efforts to shake hands and smile with people who clearly don't want to be part of it? Is that correct?
Correct. And those that are opportunists in our struggle for democracy.
Right. Okay. Well, it's always a good idea to continue to be authentic. Now, if you authentically can't smile and shake hands with people, don't. When you're looking for people who may be spies or maybe trying to just get information from you, it's okay to continue to be authentic. It's okay to treat them like a human. It's just make sure that when you are talking about things that are sensitive, that you only do it with the people you know to be honest and kind. And if they start doing things like digging for information, you can always just say, well, I think it's time for me to, oh, no, the best thing you can do, especially if you're mother, you can say, oh no, my daughter's sick, I have to leave. Because nobody can ever keep you in a room if they think your kid is sick. But if you have any kind of an inkling that somebody is trying to get information from you, you can just bow out. Just say, okay, well, have a good day, and just leave. Because if they're just looking at you as a way to get information, they are treating you like a means to an end, which is not okay either. It's not okay to be treated that way. And if you want, you can tell them that. I find that when they find out that they are found out, like that, you know, that they're looking for information, things change quickly and you don't have to deal with them for very long. So yeah. I hope that helps. Don't ever put yourself in a position that doesn't, that you don't feel confident and comfortable in, if you can help it. Yeah. Okay.
On addition to that, really quick one, Katie, sometimes when we find people that are against our revolution or our message, I just recognize them. I welcome all of you guys, and I recognize those ones that are government sponsored to come to our meeting. Please, you'll excuse us. This is a closed door meeting. You can stay in the lobby. Yeah. They know. They know all what they can do is to take photographs of our New York protests, and that's it. But what more are you gonna do with that? It's public.
Well, and you're not being mean. And you're not
Yeah.
telling them they can't be here. They're in no danger. You're
Well,
just saying, thank you for coming. Please go to the government sanctioned area.
Yeah, and sometimes I tell them, well, Mr. Henry, you are welcome. Your seat is over in the corner there.
See, there are ways to deal with this stuff. And
Yeah.
sometimes it can be very amusing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the goal is never to harm anyone or call anybody out. The goal is just to keep your meeting secure.
Correct.
And sometimes it can be a lot of fun. And keep in mind, most of the time, those government officials are only there because they're getting paid.
Yeah.
You know, it's
get
like,
yeah,
so,
and to push even false information. Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting paid for, so just,
Correct.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, David. Okay, we
You're
have
welcome.
a few more, but I think we're running low on time.
Yeah, Tamale, your hand is up. Tamale, can you ask a question or make a comment? Unmute. Tamale's hand is up, and then if he's not there, then we can go Reggie, Everett in that order, and then James. Tamale, are you able to speak?
I can. Thank you. Thanks so much, Teacher Kate. My request goes to Professor Ginger that you write down the question, because some of us, we are moving. Right now, I'm on a motorbike moving somewhere. All along, I've been studying as I was moving on. So just do us a favor and write down the question for which we have to send on the email. Thank you so much.
Shared in the chat, comrade. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be shared in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Tamale. Reggie? Comrade Reggie, are you able to unmute and say something? Then after Reggie, Everett, after Everett, Everest, then James. All right.
So, Professor, and Teacher Katie. So is that how she wants us to call her, or there's a different way? So from today, we refer to her as Teacher Katie?
Correct.
She needs to give us feedback on that. Mine is brief. I want to thank Teacher Katie so much, also our professor. And one of the things I've taken away is people don't care so much how much we know, but how much we care. When she talked about, shaking hands with people, interacting with people, it captures people. They feel they are cared for. We all have a need to be seen. We all have a need to be heard. We all have a need to be noticed. That's just humanity. Even these heartless human beings in Uganda who are causing all this chaos, they have that. And especially when we expose them, we isolate them, we don't give that audience to make them feel that, they can do things and get away with them. They hurt. They really, really, really hurt. But when we pretend with them, we hug with them, but we know they are doing things that cause us harm, they feel, they're welcome. They can get away with it. So that's not accountability. Thank you so much, Teacher Katie, until you let us know how you want us to refer to you. That's all I had to say.
Well, thank you, Reggie. You can call me Katie or Teacher Katie. That's just what my students call me. So regardless, I'll answer. Thank you for your comments. I very much agree. When we can be civil and kind to the people that we disagree with, it's much more advantageous in every way. One, our character remains intact, and two, the people feel safe. And when people feel safe, they misstep and say things they wouldn't normally say. It's a very valuable tactical tool, as well as just who I am. So that works out good. Thank you, Reggie. All right, Everest and then James.
Thank you very much, Teacher Katie and Professor Sejinja. and Dorcas for this organizing this training. For me, my question is, looks like much as we would like to improve leadership, we're having a big shortage. How can we get leaders who are effective to the situation which is resisting change? Much as most of us, we don't know how to get change. How do we go about it? And another, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, in such a situation, I would love to know how can we be as well effective in having got the idea, how can we be effective where we have the education which is teaching us how to, what to think, not how to think. Thank you.
That is an excellent question, and it's one every country deals with. The problem is with especially corrupt leadership, one of the tools they use that is very effective is making people feel like it's hopeless to try. They make people feel like, oh, you don't know enough, so you can't. Oh, this is a position that requires this set of skills and you don't have it, so you can't. And only I can solve this problem. That is the hallmark of a dictator. Only I can solve this problem. It is a very effective tool because there's so much about being a leader that people don't know or understand. They don't know where to start. They're just mad because the roads suck. And so trying to find people who are willing to stand up and lead is very difficult. What has to happen is there needs to be hope. You have to start spreading hope for change. You have to start letting people know that they can make a difference, that their voices can be heard, and that the people who are silencing them, the people who sit there and say, this is too hard, only I can fix it, you will find out really quickly just how thin that veneer is, how bad that facade is, how fake they are. Anybody can make a difference. There is always hope. And if somebody is telling you that you can't because there is no hope, they are trying to control you. So my suggestion would be go out and empower people, strengthen people, show those women or show men and women and even the youth, show the youth how much power they really have. Show them that change is possible. Be the leader that shows that. Be the first. You're going to have to be the first to do certain things. It's part of it. Be the first. Be the first to have a walkout. Be the first to show those youth that their voices not only matter, but they terrify those in charge. Show them. Spread hope. Spread love. Spread the knowledge that things don't have to be this way. I know it's hard and it's difficult to be that kind of a leader because you're going to have to do it all from scratch. Nobody's going to help you in the leadership roles there. But we will help you and we will do what we can. But you're going to have to be that leader. You're going to have to be the one to stand up and give that hope. And that is a crappy thing for me to ask you to do. But I really hope you do. I hope everywhere you go, you spread the hope for better. Because that's probably the most effective role a leader can have. And that's all I ever try to do. That's the whole reason I'm here. There's always hope. I hope that helps. I'm sorry I couldn't be more specific. But without being in your shoes, Everest, I can only give you hope and my love. And my knowledge that you can do it. Because you're strong and capable and eloquent. You speak clearly. And people will feel that. I'm sorry, Everest. But please be that leader. David, did you have anything to say?
Yeah, I don't have an addition after saying such a powerful answer. Thank you very much. James, your hand is up.
Oh, thank you, David, and thank you, Katie. Katie, you got emotional at the end of it. I was reading your presentation, how you're presenting to Everest. You got emotional, and it touched me a little. First, leadership is lonely, is what I picked. Although I'm not a student in class, David, don't mark me. I don't have exams. But leadership is lonely, and there are few key points I picked: consistency, passion, and these are things I want to speak to right now. When I arrived in this state where I am, it's called Iowa. Of course, I was a lonely person. I had fallen out with Uganda for standing out as a leader. Not a leader, but I mean, if you are called a clinic officer, what's the word officer? It means you are in charge. So most of the times in the health centers where I was working, I got problems with the government because I stood out as a leader. And so they kept on sending me away or dismissing me. Now, when I arrived now in America, whatever I've been doing, got my house rep documenting that James is from Uganda, but he's one of the most inspiring immigrants who have got in this state. We are going to give him a platform to inspire others, to speak about Uganda, and to inspire people in America. Imagine, we are going to give him a platform. So yesterday when I went there, I found the whole house saying that, James, you have appeared 387 times, if it is parliament, in pictures with the legislators here, 387 times. You are an example. If we talk of people in the gallery, James is the one in the gallery. What brings you here? Now they wanted to know. They said that we just can't keep seeing James coming here to take pictures with us. There is a reason. Who is he? So I told them my story yesterday. And one of them said, James has a very heavy accent. And he has something he's presenting that we must listen to, because there's no reason why he identifies with us 387 times is too many times for somebody if he has a problem and who have not responded. So James, go back home. We are going to sit on Monday. Organize slides, because your language is so heavy. Some of us might not get you, but we want to listen to you. And I was telling them that I come from a country which has a dictator. The man has led us for 40 years. I'm not here as your envoy. As an envoy, I'm here as an immigrant. I'm here more of as a refugee. But I come from a district that has fish, the best fish in Uganda, and it's Nile Patch. I come from a district that has gold. And I'm presenting as a destitute here. I said, James, put those things for us in slides so that we give you an opportunity. So that is consistency, because 387 times is consistency. And now appearing in that house ever since they gave me a platform, every Thursday, every Friday, I go to state capital, what you call a parliament. And they are now recognizing that this guy who has been identified with us, we just can't keep quiet about him. We have to listen to him. So that is a small tip on what you have been talking about. It's lonely because I'm like, where am I going? Another story was just yesterday. I saw a Ugandan who has played darts very well. That's very well. He is an African champion. And so yesterday, I'm like, can't I get this guy into darts? Because I know the darts league in my state here. Since I on occasions go out. So I went and talked to one person, said, this is an African champion. He said, James, we'll have a league coming in August. Tell us his name and give us his address. We invite him. You look at that, the boy appeared on Facebook as Joe Bodoy playing darts. But you take that, it is courage, loneliness, passion. And I just have to say, Katie, thank you, and David for that presentation, because it rotates around us. You are lonely. It takes courage. It takes passion, doing things consistently. And you find that you break through. Breaking through is not easy. It's like mining. You reach a rock. And if you give up, the leadership tools, it's what you're giving us. Thank you.
Thank you, James. That was marvelous. We're lucky to have you in the States with us. And I would just like to echo that it is like mining. And most of the time, you're only going to find little teeny tiny nuggets, and you're never going to feel like you're going to get through to that big vein of gold. And you probably won't. But if you keep on going, you'll find that your little teeny tiny pile of nuggets has just grown to an enormous size. You're probably never going to have that big moment where everything falls together, but each little win, each little nugget brings you that much closer to freedom. So celebrate those little wins. Celebrate every time, because you're not going to have the big win, at least not right away, and at least not all at once. Take your time. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. All right, Reggie. Reggie, your hand is up.
Sorry, Dr. Katie and the professor. I'm back again. So I've been conflicting in between, or is it time for the free interaction? Because usually we have an interaction that is not exactly directed to the class, but supplementing, but also talking about the situation at home. So after my brother, by the way, that's my brother, Dr. Mugeni. I'm proud of him. So whatever he's doing, Mr. Mugeni, Buddha Hamuno, Esa Nyabauhesa. Yeah, Busia, I love you, brother. Usually I'm a Bible believing person, and I know back in Uganda, about 90% of Bible believing people or claim to be Bible believing people. So usually I leave a scripture or something within theology, because I studied theology, and I usually feel like I'm cheating on Christianity if I don't say something in that area. I just had a scripture. It's in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11 to 14. And this is the ESV, English Standard Version. This is what it says. Take no part in unfruitful works of darkness. Take no part in unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Take no part in unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is shameful even to speak of things that they do in secret. But when anything is exposed to light, and this is the part that really hits the point home. But when anything is exposed to the light, we believe we are the light because we add value to humanity.
Doctors, I think we lost Reggie.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Take
Reggie.
it over, Dorcas, for the rest of the remainder of the time and engagement. And Joseph, you guys take it over.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor and Teacher Katie. This was a wonderful training session. I think it was something we need more of. The other points about simplicity, truthfulness, collective action, organizations are very key to we in the diaspora have been trying to mobilize ourselves, to speak out, to demonstrate, to go to the capitals, state capitals, the US Capitol, the United Nations, and of course, we just heard from Mr. Mugeni. He's doing a great job in the state of Iowa, going to his local state capital and speaking out. And the issue of simplicity of message is very important. Even as we go to demonstrations, we have to have a very clear message. If you're going to demonstrate, we need to have our flyers or information. Okay, what is the message we are going to try to transmit? Otherwise, as you said, it's very difficult to get people on the same page. So that was a great point. Truthfulness, being truthful, being authentic, and not sacrificing our characters and convictions for whatever reason. That is extremely important. We individually, leaders, and also everyone we work with, we need to be truthful and standing on principle despite whatever may come. And of course, we have an example of in Parliament in Uganda where these people have been getting millions of shillings. Supposedly leaders in the opposition that are supposedly going to kind of leading the people to change the system in Uganda, but at the same time they're part of the system and they're getting kickbacks and awarding themselves money. So that's an example, the people are not being truthful and they're being followed, which brings up the point of collective action. You said we could be following the same, we could be collectively acting on information or people that are leading us in a wrong direction. So that talks about looking at our leaders. Okay, maybe we are followers, but who is this person leading us? Listening to them carefully, watching their actions, because actions speak louder than words. If someone's actions, point to the direction that they are not necessarily leading you to where you want to go, then perhaps we reconsider and say, you know what, let me perhaps not follow that person. So that was very important. And of course, organization. When we do demonstrate, as you said, collective action requires a certain level of organization, whether it's a protest, whether it's whatever it is, and getting our people who think like us, because you said it's almost impossible to get people, many people to be on the same page, which of course in our diaspora, or whether a struggle for liberation or to move Uganda to a more democratic and prosperous future, we have a lot of people within us who may be sent or who may be sponsored by the regime that we're trying to uproot. Which means we have to be within ourselves, kind of also, okay, my neighbor or this person or this group, are we all on the same page? And if you're not on the same page, work with the people that are on the same page with us, the people who are, we feel are authentic to what we are trying to achieve. So that was a very good point. So even as we struggle, we have to be aware that not everyone who claims to be for the struggle is actually for the struggle. So that was a very good point. And finally, your port of your mountain port. You said something about the mountain. If you can repeat it, Katie, please, because I think that was very important. From Hume, because I want to conclude on that.
The quote was from David Hume in 1740. Treatise of human nature, that although two neighbors may agree to drain a common meadow, to have 1,000 neighbors agree on such a project becomes too complex a matter to execute. And then I also reflected that Hume may critique collective action, but he was still an advocate for trying. It was more about understanding the mountain you must climb than not trying to achieve your goal.
Great, thank you so much. So more about understanding the mountain you must climb, not giving up achieving your goal. So this is actually, that's very, very key, because we are talking about changing Uganda and understanding the mountain we must climb. That is key to being effective. Someone asked, how can we be effective? You have to understand the mountain we're trying to climb and what does it take to get to actually jump over that hurdle and achieve our goal. So thank you so much, Katie. Those were very wonderful lessons. And Professor Sanyu, thank you for putting this all together. I think we are learning a lot, and hopefully these notes that are being shared will inspire a lot of us in the diaspora and the people at home that are watching on Facebook, to organize better and think of how we can mobilize each other and our communities to see that we get to the Uganda we deserve, the Uganda that we all wish to live for our future generations. Thank you so much, Katie and Professor Sejinja and Docus and everyone else for participating in this training. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Comrade Joseph, for that. And thank you so much to Professor David, Teacher Katie, and the rest of the team at the American Leadership class. We really thank you. Thank you so much. Professor David, did you have a last minute, or Teacher Katie, before we close? We actually, Reggie, I think we lost you, but it's just for seconds. If you can just briefly come in for just a few seconds, because we are now about to close. And then we'll hear from Professor if he's still here. We've stretched today. Reggie, just in a few seconds, because I think you lost connection, please.
Yes, Dorcas, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the devil is a liar. I start speaking about the scripture and everything goes off. Okay, let me just finish this scripture and I'll probably hand over to you. Again, I said it was Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11 to 14, English Standard Version. Take no part in unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is shameful even to speak of things that they do in secret. But when anything is exposed by the light, it becomes visible. For anything that becomes visible is light. So that is a scripture for us who are Bible-believing people, and be encouraged. God is on our side. God is always on the side of truth, and we are going to win this cause. Keep exposing the dictator. We are here because Museveni has trashed our country. Everybody who has been in the country can see this, that the whole country is trash. We want to take it back and add value to it. Also add value to Ugandans, so that we are a good example to the rest of the world. God bless you so much. Back to you, Dorcas.
Thank you so much, brother. Yes, Professor David and Teacher Katie, I don't know if you all have need a minute each, and then we close. Please do come in, Professor, in case you still have a minute with us. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much as well for your time today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dorcas and the Executive Committee, Joseph, Reggie, and the whole Uganda is Bleeding Executive Board members. We thank you for the opportunity given to our American Leadership Academy class for teaching and lecturing on this. My last minute, and then I'll turn over to Teacher Katie for the last word. My last message to you, to all you, my students and colleagues and comrades, is our American Leadership class enrollment starts in September for the next academic year, and then I will have that information out, number one. Number two, let's not give up the fight. For those that succeed in every revolution up to the end are those that pass through a thunderstorm, and then in the end, a green light at the end of the tunnel approaches. And then when we look back, we contemplate and meditate and say, we were there. Teacher Katie?
That was beautiful, David. What a lovely thought to end such a profound meeting on. I just wanted to say before we parted ways that I've been lucky enough to spend time in Uganda, and despite the wounds that are present because of the leadership there, Uganda is beautiful. There's nothing that those leaders could do to ruin that place. Crane that is on your right now, it's got a little bit of a broken wing, but that does not change the beauty that is its people. That doesn't change the marvels that the land has. That doesn't change Lake Victoria or the zoo. I want you to know what you're fighting for, and that it is so very worth it. Your country is not trash. Forgive me, Reggie. Your country just has a bad leader. And once you root that out and heal that wing, it's going to fly and be absolutely stunning. And it's going to happen because of the leaders here. Again, come join us at American Leadership class. We would love to see you. And thank you so much for sharing your beautiful country with me and giving me the opportunity to share what little I have with all of you. Thanks, David.
Thank you. Over to you, Dorcas. Thanks, students. Thanks, comrades. We thank everyone for today's class. We look forward to seeing you next week on Saturday, same time. Over to you. I salute. Dorcas.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor David and Teacher Katie and the rest of the leaders, the lecturers at the American Leadership Class. Thank you so much for your time. Oh my God, this was such a powerful lecture. We thank you. Comrades, just to remind you, the students, the code has been shared in the chat. Please do get the code of attendance for today, because at the end of the sessions, you will email us. And of course, we are going to verify that you've attended in case you need a certificate. And of course, we know there are some that are not attending this for the certificate. You're still welcome to attend. We will be having tweets being shared in the chat every time, so we still have a protest going on during the lecture. Comrades, this is to remind you the clocks went forward. This is just a 30-second clip. I'll put this on so that we remind our students of the time. Okay.
Clocks have moved forward. So, 2 p.m. UK time now corresponds to 4 p.m. in UK.
Ensonga muziwulidde, muzifunye bulungi, muzitegedde. Zagoba nakyemalira gino Museveni. Naye ng'obuvunaanyizibwa bubwo, obuvunaanyizibwa bwange, obuvunaanyizibwa bwaffe, omulimu gugwo, omulimu gwange, omulimu gwaffe. Tulina kukwataganira wamu era ne tussa kimu ne tugamba nti ekimala kimala. Twegobeko olumbulege, twegobeko ekyonziira, twegobeko ekinene kyawanga, eggwanga lyaffe lwe ligenda okutereera, eggwanga lyaffe lwe ligenda okukulaakulana ate nga tulitwala mu maaso. Abaana baffe basobole oddiwangaaliramu nga balinyumirwa ate nga balikulaakulanya, nga tebattibwa, tebayigganyizibwa, tebasibibwa, tebatulugunyizibwa, nga wamma Uganda nsi yeeyagaza, ng'amawanga amalala bwe geeyagaza, era ng'abakulembeze bwe bakulembera amawanga amalala ne bannansi ne bageeyagaliramu. Naffe eryaffe Uganda nga ekulembera abakulembeze abatweyagaza ne tuyeeyagaliramu. Obwo obuvunaanyizibwa bwaffe okulwa n'okuteekawo ekyo, era ng'olina kukikola lwaleero, tewali lunaku lulala. Era kola buli kyokola buli lunaku ng'olaba nti kigattako mu goba nakyemalira gino Museveni ne kafamire ke abali mu kubba obubbi eggwanga lyaffe. Mbaagala nnyo mwenna abaliko mwebali kubaako. Omukama Katonda bw'asaba abakuumire, tujja kuba tuddamu. Bataayi mweraba.